here to talk about your problem. You've got butt wink, bro. You knew? Oh, we all knew. We all knew. But how? That was some amazing cinematography, and I believe both of those actors deserve awards. Now on to curing butt wink. Butt wink, if you don't know, is when the pelvis tucks under as you lower down into the bottom of a squat, and it rounds out your lumbar spine, creating a whole bunch of movement under load that you do not want. It is not safe for your back. But most people think that this is a tightness problem, mainly in the hamstrings, and we're going to prove why that's not true. And we're also going to use two strategies to correct this.
So we're going to start with a bad position, which is an extreme arch in the low back, flaring the ribs, and look how restricted the hamstrings are. Next, we're going to brace properly and see if that makes a difference. Holy crap, instant flexibility.
So you can see from the test we did that the hamstrings had plenty of length. We just had a stability problem, which we quickly corrected with proper bracing.
So we're going to start with an extreme anterior pelvic tilt, which is what most people will use when they're attempting to keep their low back from rounding out while squatting. As I reach the bottom, I can no longer maintain the position and my hips are forced to dump underneath me, rounding out my low back. Now we're going to use proper bracing strategy, and as you'll notice, the pelvic tilt is greatly minimized and I maintain a neutral lumbar spine throughout the squat.
And you could see the lumbar spine completely round out there, versus when we braced properly, we had very minimal movement in the pelvis, but the main area that we were worried about is what's going on with the lumbar spine. Turns out that neutral spine in your lumbar area has a range. So we can't get freaked out by small amounts of movement as long as it's still a good position at the bottom of the squat and we're still within that range of normal. All right, so here's a simple test you can do to measure how much you're breathing into your stomach versus if you're breathing into your chest. You're going to take two fingers, place them on your collarbones. I feel like a flight attendant right now. Place them on your collarbones, and you're going to take in a breath. If you notice that your chest and your collarbones rise and not a whole lot happens at your stomach, then you're breathing into your chest, and you're going to need to do an exercise that helps you learn how to breathe more into your stomach, which is this one.
The goal here is to try to raise the kettlebell as high as you can with each breath, filling your entire midsection 360 degrees full of air.
All right, so now that you have that kettlebell exercise mastered for breathing, we're going to add your bracing on top of it. So once you've filled 360 degrees around your midsection, you're going to brace as though you're about to get punched in the stomach. These two things combined are what's going to give you rigidity through your midsection so that your pelvic position and your thoracic position do not move during the course of your squat. A lot of people ask, okay, well, do I hold my breath the whole time while I'm squatting? What if I'm doing 20 reps? What if I'm doing 15 reps? The answer to that is it's going to be different for everybody, and you're going to have to actually learn how to control it, and that only comes through practice. The way I do it is not going to be the way that you're going to do it. The other thing is it's best to think about it like a dial of intensity. The more intense or the heavier the loads that you're using, the more you're going to hold your breath and brace. If you're doing a set of 10 or 20, obviously you're not going to be able to hold your breath for that entire set, so that you're going to have to adopt a little bit different breathing strategy for it. But again, you're going to have to experiment in order to figure that out. So that's it, guys. Like, subscribe, share with your friends. Ow!